Are you planning a trip to Hanifaru Bay to see the mass manta aggregation? Maybe you're already here and wondering whether it's time to start making good luck sacrifices to the ocean gods. Well, stop what you're doing because I'm about to tell you 5 things based on real scientific research and data that you're going to want to keep an eye on to increase your chances of seeing something like this. Okay, first up then, we've got time of year or season. Now, I'm hoping that most of you will have done your research before heading to the Bar Atoll because you're only really going to see these mass feeding aggregations in the Maldives southwest monsoon season, which runs from May to November. Second, you're going to want to keep an eye on the moon phases. So the manta ray sightings spike in Hanifaru Bay close to a new or a full moon, specifically the highest just after a new moon and just before the full moon. And the moon stuff here is likely to do with its effect on tidal intensity, so these strong lunar tides overcome the force of the monsoon currents and draw plankton-rich water up from the depths towards the surface and into the bay. Next up then, we've got one of the factors that I just half mentioned there, which is tides. So from what we can see in the scientific literature, the data shows us that you're somewhat more likely to get those huge feeding aggregations of mantas when the tide is high. Importantly, it's just after high tide. And that's probably because just after you've had that high tide, you've had a greater movement of water into the bay, which is bringing in more plankton. And then finally, last on our list, we've got wind speed and wind direction. The probability of seeing these mantas is highest when you've got moderate wind speeds of around 11 miles per hour. That's about 18 kilometers per hour. But it's no good if that wind is blowing in the wrong direction. So for the best chances, you're going to want it coming in from the west, somewhere around 265 degrees-ish. That wind direction's a really important one there because those westerly winds blow the plankton into the mouth of Hanifaru Bay, which sits on that west-hand side and almost acts like a big funnel, drawing in and then trapping the plankton inside the bay. Now, all of this data that I've just given to you there is based from published scientific research, and it's a data set that spans over 13 years from 2006 to 2019, which is a very good long-term data set to go by. But these are environmental conditions paired with wild animals, 2 things that are just ridiculously hard to predict. So even though you want to be looking out for all those factors that I just mentioned, sometimes you've just got to cross your fingers and hope for the best. So good luck.